Welcome everyone to the Avengenerds podcast where we talk Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and more. I'm your host Torrin, and with me is my co-host Peyton.
What's
Hello,
going
Peyton.
on?
How's it going? All right, let's get on with the news of the week.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of news, so yeah, we gotta get to it. But we got a good show. Generally, we got a bunch of Marvel news. We got some DC news. A little extra piece of news. We're gonna be talking about the finale of What If and just sort of our thoughts on the season as a whole. And then we'll be getting into Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Are we a week late? Sure, but who gives a shit? So our first piece of news, this is a maybe, well, it's not a spoiler, but we're going to be talking about spoilers in this little piece of news. But it is currently rumored that Doctor Strange may face off against Ultron bots in Doctor Strange 2. Which begs the question, does this connect to What If in any way? I mean, we'll get to it when we get to What If, but you know, they defeated Infinity Ultron. I think that's the canon name for him. But he's not. I don't think he's technically dead. Like Zola got to him and stuff, but I don't think. It's not like the body's dead either. They're like stuck in that little snow globe pocket dimension, you know.
Yeah.
But if the rumor is true and they're facing Ultron bots, whether it's connection to What If, regardless, that'll be super cool to see. Small pieces of news. Black Widow is available on Disney Plus. Woohoo! So go see that if you haven't already. This next piece of news, I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about, if I'm honest, but I feel like it was kind of a big deal, so I think it'd be kind of weird not to talk about it. But Letitia Wright continues to believe and spread anti-vax misinformation on the set, specifically of Black Panther 2. Sus. I mean,
Dude, you already know she's gonna get like fucking cut. I'm like her pay's gonna get cut, bro.
I mean,
Something's gonna happen.
if she signed a contract, she's still gonna get paid whatever, you know. But you know, obviously, understandably, people are mad. You know, she had that whole ordeal a while ago, and everything went quiet, and it still seems like she's spouting that, you know. And most people seem to be like, being anti-vax is bad enough, but you know what? If you want to be stupid and not get the vaccine, then go ahead and be stupid. But then but the worst part is going and spreading that misinformation, especially on a set where you're mourning someone's loss still, you know? Everyone's just trying to work, and you're like, man, these vaccine mandates. Because I think it's because Disney is like requiring people to be vaccinated on sets and stuff, and she's not happy about it.
I mean, I don't really get it, bro. Like, because the thing is, like, with, like, not trying to get political here, and I definitely think that you getting a vaccine shouldn't be a political thing. But it's like
woke culture's back at it again.
You've all like, chances are you've gotten vaccines as a kid, so like, why all of a sudden like are you not wanting to get it now?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's gotten vaccines. You're literally required to get vaccinated to go to school.
Exactly, like polio vaccines, flu vaccines, like meningitis shots, you know, something like that. Like, you know, those are all things that you have to go get shots for, and it's just crazy how like you don't want to get a COVID vaccine, and because you feel like the government is like, you know, egging on you or some shit like that.
Or because you're worried about what's in the vaccine and long-term effects, even though it's been long-term, nothing's happened, and it's FDA approved, right? So like,
Yeah,
you have, like, there's no excuse anymore. You just get the vaccine. Like, man, it really isn't that big of a deal, man. Oh, it's
Yeah,
wild.
I will never understand.
Let's move on
Yeah,
because it's just
exactly.
gonna piss
Yeah.
me off. um, so let's bring it from mad to sad with this piece of news. What if director Brian Andrews said there were plans to have a Star-Lord T'Challa spin-off series? Pain. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
come on, man. We just keep losing. We keep losing. Oh, yeah, man. This would have been so fun. I imagine
Mhm.
just based off the what if finale, if it was gonna spin off, it was gonna be maybe like a buddy thing with like Quill or something. I don't know, but man, that would have been so cool to see.
Definitely.
Um, okay, there's like a bunch of new. You know, I'm gonna save this last pieces of Marvel news for last because it's a lot. So I'm just gonna move to this last piece of Marvel news for now, um, which proves how much of a god Kevin Feige is, the GOAT, the greatest of all
Uh,
time.
is it about the like the table scene in Black
Yes.
Widow?
So Marvel
Yeah.
Studios' Kevin Feige was adamant about Black Widow's dinner scene not getting cut, according to director Kate Shortland. She was quoted as saying, "Scarlett and I kept fighting him on it, saying, 'How will this ever work?' It's like the best scene in the movie."
Yeah, it's literally like the best scene in the movie. It I feel like that's something that like a lot of Marvel movies need. Like just like a sit down, like heartfelt like moment. Not to say they don't have heartfelt moments, but like I want to see more heartfelt moments in the MCU with like multiple characters.
100%. Like that movie there, that movie, that scene, that's the scene that made them feel like a family unit. You
Exactly.
know, without that scene, there's very little to care about, uh, as far as the relationships between these characters goes. I saw
Yeah.
someone reply to this, and I was like, man, that's facts. I mean, just you know, looking at the MCU as a whole, they said that Kevin Feige, um, he pushes for characters, not action. Stories obviously at the forefront too, but it's mostly about the characters. Because if you get the character right, then it's almost smooth sailing.
Of course.
Because if you like the character, then it's like, well, even though maybe the movie might not be as good as I wanted, I still like this character, and it helps your enjoyment of the movie. Cough cough, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, I mean this just proves how good Kevin Feige is at his job, and I think it also shows how he's not just some fucking CEO sitting in his tower just letting everybody do whatever, and like he's actually involved.
Exactly.
The MCU is his baby. It's his universe. The only reason the MCU is where it is because of him, and he's continuing to do that. It's not like we got to Avengers 2012 and he was like, "Well, I did my job. Let me let me sit back or whatever."
Yeah, he has he has a passion for these characters, and he wants to see them succeed. Like not only like from a business standpoint, from like a movie standpoint as well. Like just have them have great character development all the way through, and that's something that like we love to see. And that's also something that like I like a lot because I feel like when you have that passion, you have that drive, and that creative, express yourself creatively. That's what makes a film like worthwhile.
100%. What a god. All right, let's move on to some DC news and some miscellaneous news, and then we'll 180 back to Marvel. So James Gunn confirmed that he is developing another DC project. He's playing coy on what exactly that is. People are speculating Superman. Some people are speculating like a new Justice League movie. There's really no precedent for actually knowing, what it actually will be. But he did confirm he is working on another DC project. And if the Suicide Squad's anything to go by, Yes, please. Yeah, yes,
Exactly.
please. Just put James Gunn on everything, please. I'll eat it up. So that's exciting. Have you seen the leaked Black Adam photos?
I have. I have seen them.
They look it's freaking sick, isn't it?
Hmm.
Suits look freaking good. Black Adam suit. I mean, it's definitely looking. If you've seen the new Shazam suits, it's pretty much that. I think the lightning bolt's bigger, but like Hawkman.
Yeah.
I mean, that looked sick. That gets me. I'm not too excited about Black Adam. Just I don't know. Not really my wheelhouse as far as superhero stuff, comic book characters go.
Yeah. Hurts me.
But and I also don't really trust DC all that much still. But those suits, I mean, they're looking good. So I think
They're
I think we're
different.
going to be getting some more looks and stuff like that at DC Fandom, which we're going to be talking all about next week. That's gonna be a big episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited about more excited about Black Adam now. Another piece of news is Wentworth Miller is reprising his role as Captain Cold in Legends of Tomorrow's 100th episode. So if you
Oh my god, amazing.
watch Legends of Tomorrow, good for you. Wentworth Miller's coming back. He's that man's a great Captain Cold.
He is a great Captain Cold.
I wish they utilized him more, but I kind of get. I mean, in the Flash, the Flash is such a hard character to write. That doesn't excuse the past like 4 seasons of the Flash. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The Flash is so overpowered. With a character like Captain Cold, there's so much inconsistency with the Flash because there has to be, otherwise there's no story, because he can just do anything really.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wentworth Miller coming back as Captain Cold, fun, right?
Yeah. Speaking of the Flash, I may add a piece of news. Leaked photo of Grant Gustin wearing the golden boots.
Hell
in
yeah, he's
Flash
wearing the
Season
gold
8.
boots. Finally.
I know, finally. So I think leaks say that he will be getting him in the crossover event. My thing is, I hope that, of course, he gets him in the crossover and then has him like moving forward, because of course, being a Flash fan, the fandom as well has been wanting the gold boots for a very long time. And Eric Wallace, who is the current showrunner, he's been the showrunner since season 6, I believe.
I think so.
He was saying like, "Oh man, yeah, we're gonna get the gold boots," and like it never happened. But I kind of understand why they halted on that, because the pandemic hit, whatever, blah blah blah. But it's good to see that he finally gets the gold boots.
Definitely.
They look incredible on him too.
100%. I think we were literally just talking about last week how we wanted the gold boots after we saw him in the reverse Flash suit. You're like,
Yeah,
where's
I
the gold
know.
boots? And boom, there we go. Egg on our face. Some more Flash news, but the movie Flash, it wrapped filming. So yeah,
Nice.
still annoyed that we're not getting a trailer at DC Fandom, but it is what it is. I hope we're gonna get, because I think the teaser, the sneak peek or whatever that we're going to show at DC Fandom leaked. So I hope they give us a little something extra,
Mm-hmm.
All right, a little piece of miscellaneous news. We're big fans of this man, and he's back. Ludwig Göransson is reuniting with Christopher Nolan to score his next movie. Because, that man's Tenet score was something else.
Tenet score is amazing. That is why one of the best soundtracks from Nolan's movies, besides Dunkirk. Dunkirk is amazing. Oh my goodness, probably
I
like
still
one of the
haven't seen
best. Like,
Dunkirk.
you gotta watch it. It's on HBO Max, by the way. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a really good film. Like it's a really good like war film. I add. It's like I think it's in my top
Yeah.
3 or 5
Till the
war
timey-wimey stuff
films.
comes in.
No, there's no time stuff in it, but it's really
Are you sure about
cool.
that?
I'm sure because I've watched the movie.
Okay. It's Christopher Nolan. You know? Yeah, like,
It doesn't deal with time.
it's
Like,
Christopher
trust me.
Nolan though. He does the weird stuff.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that in the Dark Knight trilogy, though.
Yeah, but that's based off of a character that already exists. You know, I mean, Dunkirk's
Exactly.
based
But
off a real event, but it's not. It's not legally binding.
you think there's time travel and time warping in World War One?
I'm not saying there's necessarily time travel, but I feel like there's like some time. There's something going on.
No, trust
Yeah,
me.
there's gonna be a mass Cthulhu's gonna come out, and he's gonna be like,
Don't you
"Bring
ever
me
say that to me
Hitler."
again. Bring me Hitler. Actually, hold on. Look, I know you're gonna be pretty disappointed with my. Let me see. Really? Holy crap! I'm watching after the podcast, bro.
What? What?
Inception's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been wanting to watch Inception. I've never seen it.
You've never seen Inception?
No.
Oh!
But I've seen Tenet, which
Oh
is weird.
my god. Well, at the time, Inception's still confusing.
Yeah, Inception at the time
But
was
Tenet's like on another level.
yeah. Which is funny because I actually get Tenet. Like I understand Tenet.
Right? Like I get it too. I mean, there's still some stuff that's like, what the fuck is going on? But by the end, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
For sure. But
Yeah, let's 180 back to this Marvel news because it's a lot.
are you gonna talk about the Agatha Harkness show?
There's a little bit more than that, but yes. So Catherine Hahn has signed a deal with Marvel Studios to return as Agatha in various movies and Disney Plus shows. So I guess she signed one of those multi-picture deals or multi-project deals, I guess, since they're doing Disney Plus shows now. Will she be returning in Multiverse of Madness? Who knows? I guess we'll have to see. But along with that, it is rumored and reported that there is a Agatha Harkness Disney Plus series in the works with WandaVision head writer Jack Schaefer returning, this time as showrunner, and it is said to be a dark comedy.
I can actually see that a lot.
Definitely. I mean, Catherine Hahn is she's a great actress.
She's
and
an amazing actress.
She was phenomenal in WandaVision. I mean, any more of her, I'm happy.
Honestly.
But yeah. So, do you think she's showing up in Multiverse of Madness?
I don't think so, but it would be nice to see her in Multiverse of Madness, considering like in WandaVision she said that, she
needs her, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think her show is going to be like before WandaVision or like after WandaVision?
I think it should be before WandaVision. I feel like it should be half and half though, because we already got parts of like we got like a part of her past in WandaVision. It should be like a little like more before, like takes place in the present kind of, and then it should like at the last episode it should be like after WandaVision. That's what I feel like it should be.
Yeah, I want to see more of her past, more of her, because we got a little bit of it in WandaVision with the whole Salem whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to see what she does, because I mean she's hundreds of years old.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what that journey is like. So some more Disney Plus stuff. A 10 Rings Disney Plus show starring Zai Ling is rumored to be in development. So
wow, dude.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited. I'm excited.
So we got that little
excited.
tease at the end of Shang-Chi, and I was like, okay, well maybe they're like the 10 Rings will return or whatever. I was like, I guess they'll return in like, I don't know, the movie or something. I don't know. But
yeah,
it looks like they might be getting their own series.
Yeah, because the Ten Rings, like in at least in the comics, my understanding from what I read is that they're not like they're kind of in a gray area. They're not like bad. They're not like good either. They're kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
But Shang-Chi's sister is like considered like a foe, so we're gonna see some more of that in the show, which I'm excited for because I do want to see more Xialing, and I feel like she didn't really do much. I mean, she did much, but like we need to see more of her in Shang-Chi.
Wasn't that like
Yeah,
her first movie? That actress.
I'm not sure.
I think I saw that somewhere. That was her first movie. If it
This is
was,
a
if it was, she was freaking fantastic. Yeah,
yeah, because like
and good
there's a
for
lot
her.
of like newcomers coming out like for Marvel and like other projects.
Good.
Considering like Miss Marvel, like the actress who plays her is like her first time acting
Yeah,
like
she's been
ever.
in nothing.
I
I
mean,
hope
like
that show's good.
that's a big flex for you to like get cast in a Marvel film as your first like time being an actress.
Yeah,
Props to her. Props to her. But
I
yeah, we'll see about Miss Marvel soon.
I really hope that show's good because Miss Marvel can be. I mean, she could be such an interesting. I feel like it's so easy to drop the ball with that character, especially now that we pretty much know that she's not really gonna have embiggening powers, but kind of at the same time. Uh,
Yeah.
I hope it's good. I'm concerned, but I also have complete faith in Marvel Studios.
Hmm.
So we'll see. But this just to bring it back a little bit to the Agatha Harkness show. Since it's a dark comedy, I don't
Yeah.
know. I can't think of like what that could be like because it's not like it's going to be like a like a
Okay.
workplace comedy like The
So like
Office, like She
yeah, it's
Hulk.
because like my thing like with dark comedy is like it is like there probably will be some like derogatory offensive things maybe in that show, not like out there but like other time because she's like a witch, so like there will be like derogatory terms like about that.
Yeah,
And but of course there is like some like how can I say it? It's kind of like a dark humor in a way. Every time I think of dark comedies, I think of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series because those are dark comedies. They take like really mess up situations and like for the characters, they try to make them humorous. That's kind of what like I envision for this show in a dark comedy
what I
as
was
a whole.
envisioning when I read dark comedy, I was thinking like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
But then I was like, well, I highly doubt it's going to be a sitcom.
yeah, definitely not.
So like okay, a dark comedy, it's going to be like sort of like dark humor or dark themes that are humorous. But like
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know
Yeah.
like what genre it's going to be within dark humor, you know?
Hmm.
Uh, but I guess we'll see. Another series is rumored. A Monica Rambeau series is reportedly in the works at Disney Plus.
It'll be nice seeing a Photon series.
Hell yeah! Like I think it was reported a little bit ago that there's like 30 plus Disney Plus shows in development.
Yeah, there is a lot, but I mean, I think we need them. Like we need more, more shows focused on like smaller heroes.
Well, if the rumors are true and they're building up to Secret Wars sooner than we think, then they have to all these shows and all these movies like and it's gonna build up to that way quicker than
Yeah.
it did for like Endgame, you know. But
Mhm.
like if we're getting like because they're pushing not pushing their goal is 3 movies a year and 3 movies a year plus like 3 or 4 shows. That's
Yeah,
we're eating good, you know.
for sure.
Um, so yeah, that's all the news. Um, now it is time for us to talk about the what if finale and just our thoughts as on the season as a whole. Um, so yeah, what you number one? Let's start with the finale. What do you think of the finale?
I think it was a solid finale. Um, Definitely lots and lots of action. nice little multiversal Avengers thing. You know, a lot of callbacks to the MCU movies, such as the Winter Soldier. Um, nice post credit scene. You know, where Peggy, or Captain Carter, does get her happy ending in a way. That was actually pretty nice. I have uh a concern about what I saw on social media, which we'll get into after your thoughts of the finale. But yeah, what did you think about it?
I mean, like you said, I thought it was a solid finale. I didn't think it was as good as the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple things in the finale where I was like, "That's," I mean, okay. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail, but generally, I thought it was solid. Uh, so when Killmonger got the spoilers, by the way, when Killmonger got the stones, that was fine. I was fine with that. But then Doctor Strange was sort of like, "Oh, we weren't supposed to win," and then just sort of put them in a ball. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." I mean, sure, that's one way to do it, I guess. Yeah. I thought that was a little unsatisfying for me personally, but yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any other gripes than that. What was
Um.
your concern?
Well, I personally don't have a problem with anything in the episode. But like I did see something on like TikTok where this dude was like, "Oh, like how is Ultron getting beat by like like humans or whatever?" And it's like, bro, like you also got to think about it. He's still like a machine. He has to like actually think. And like the guy was like making like a bunch of like excuses. He was like, "Bro, like he should have like he had all the stones. Like how is he like getting beat?" And like literally they said in the show like keep like hurting him so he can't think of a move. And I don't know, the guy was just a complete bozo for that. I wish his video got deleted. But other than that, I think it's a solid finale. Um, how do you think about the show overall? Like, how would you rate the entire show?
I thought the show was certainly solid. I think it's unfortunate that the pandemic sort of hindered a lot. Apparently, besides the zombies episode, I think these episodes were supposed to be around like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Not only that, the Gamora Stark episode got cut.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest
Sure.
issue with this series, which I think the uh, creators are aware, the biggest issue with this series is pacing, and
Yeah.
I'm still giving them slack for it because it's, I mean, if their constraint is 30 minutes, you can only do so much in 30 minutes. I mean, they're trying to tell these whole like movie level stories in 30 minutes. It's just, I mean, you got to cut corners. You have to.
Yeah.
Uh, it's unfortunate. Ideally, hopefully, in season 2, they increase the length of the episodes. Uh, but yeah, that's just unfortunate. I still don't like the zombies episode.
I
um,
think I think every episode to me is like it is solid for what it is because like you said, they can only do so much within like a certain runtime, and a lot of things got cut because of the pandemic. But also, the thing is like it is like generally for me, the show is called What If, and it's not a show that a lot of people should be thinking about. Like this is a show for me where I turn my brain off and I watch it
yeah, it's not that
because
deep.
everything is hypothetical. Like none of this is actually happening in the main like MCU like world.
The sacred
And
timeline.
so yeah. And so it's like when people are like, "Well, how come this person didn't do this? He had this thing." I'm like, "Bro, like it doesn't like it's not like stop." Like don't like stop thinking. That's what's ruining the show for you. And like I get it, but at the same time it's like literally just turn your brain off and just watch it. It
Yeah,
makes
and
it way more enjoyable.
there's a bunch of like continuity vultures out there. They're like, well, that doesn't make sense because at this point in the story, this would have happened and this wouldn't have happened. So how does this happen? How
Yeah,
does Thor put the hammer on Captain Marvel if Odin hasn't cursed it yet or whatever? And I'm like, it doesn't. Who gives a shit? And also,
exactly.
these are different. We don't know what happened in this universe. Not
Yeah, this
everything
is
has to be explained to us. Everyone wants to be spoon fed all this information. Just it's not that deep. It's a what if universe. It's a universe that doesn't apply to the sacred timeline's rules necessarily. It doesn't apply to our timeline. Even we don't know for a lot of them when the universe actually branches. We don't know when Odin cursed it in that universe. You know.
that that same complaint literally just triggered the Ultron argument in like episode 8. Is like, well, how did Thanos get the Soul Stone? We didn't have to sacrifice Gamora, but we saw Gamora like 30 seconds like into the movie, and I'm like, bro, like shut up, watch the show, stop thinking, stop talking.
Yeah, he could have
Like you're
got.
making
He could have like maybe in this universe, Nebula was his favored daughter, and he killed Nebula instead. We don't know.
exactly.
How do you get the time stone if Doctor Strange isn't Doctor Strange? He could have stolen it from the freaking sanctum. Like,
Exactly. It's like it's like
how do you get the Power Stone if he hasn't decimated Xandar yet? Wouldn't it be on Xandar? How is Xandar still standing? Who's to say it's on Xandar at all? We don't know.
exactly. And it's just like I get it. You're trying to understand, but the thing you got to understand is that not everything is going to be explained.
The point of
Yeah.
What If is not only to just have fun with it, it's just to see cool scenarios.
Exactly.
Everything's not going to work out perfectly continuity wise or story wise or whatever. That's not the point of What If. If you've ever read the comics, the same rules still apply. It's really a lot of What If in the comics is just what if these two characters fought. It's like there's no
Yeah.
real bearing to it. There's no real story reason for it. It's just let's try to find a way to get these two characters together or to fight or to get this and whatever the case may be. That's all What If is. It's not that serious. That being said, but I feel like then okay, if that's the case, then why don't I like the zombies episode? Number one, zombies just aren't really my thing to begin with. But I mean, we've been through this. But there, a lot of it still has to be true to the characters. You know, that's part of the fun. Unless that character has like a reason to be drastically different, because like I don't know, it's like someone close to them died or I don't know, whatever. But yeah, like Scott Lang's still Scott Lang in that, and he's still like my friend died. Okay, like it's still so that's
Yeah.
that's still weird, but like especially as far as continuity goes, who gives a shit?
I know, right?
But yeah, I think the show's biggest flaw is literally just pacing and episode length, which kind of goes hand in hand because the pacing wouldn't be as bad if the episode was longer. So yeah, I hope in What If season 2, which we know we're getting, we actually get longer episodes. But then you run into the issue. Well, it's not really an issue because they can't use Spider-Man if the episodes are longer than 40 minutes, which is annoying. So maybe, as much as I would like them to, maybe just don't use Spider-Man. As much as I want to see him in the series, maybe don't use Spider-Man so you can make those episodes longer. Ideally, I'd like them to be like an hour each, but I know that's just not going to happen. Like if the regular Disney Plus shows are like 50 minutes cap, then I mean, there's no way the animation these What If episodes are going to be an hour long. But I think ideally 45 minutes is, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. But like I said, I think it's an enjoyable series. I'm not gonna get into too much about anything else because I've said what I said what I said. I'm excited for season 2. I want to see if there's if it's going to be a longer season with longer episodes and really cool scenarios that I've never thought of before. You know.
Yeah. It also was kind of annoying that people after the finale, people are all like, Stark and Gamora like came out of nowhere. Where'd they come from? I don't get like they were just shoehorned in. And it's like, I know that we're fucking losers and we know more than the average person. But it was a little irritating to be like, it was a cut episode. It was an episode. It had to be pushed back.
Oh, okay. Look. I know I said I was done, but I'm not done because he said that. People were like saying like, dude, like they were so like the team up was so forced, and I'm like, that's exactly the point. They were forced to fight a freaking multiversal threat, bro. What are you talking about? I don't, bro. People just be talking, bro.
And like I said earlier, the point of What If is just to get these unorthodox characters together, just to see it, because it's cool. That's all. It really isn't that big of a deal. It's not that deep. Shut your brain off. Stop thinking about it too hard, and you'll enjoy the series way more. But yeah, again, pacing is my biggest issue in the zombies episode. I can't think of an episode that I disliked besides the zombies one. I pretty much liked every single one. I thought some were better than others, obviously, but yeah. What would you rate the series?
I'll give it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I was thinking a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, solid, pretty good. Stop taking it so seriously. So
yeah.
Now it's time, finally, for our review of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So let's start off, let's do non-spoilers then spoilers.
Nah, we're spoiling the whole thing, bro. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Oh my!
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
let's start with no spoilers. Yeah. So, this was for me better than the first one, but not by much. If I'm honest.
Yeah, the thing is with me is that this is good for a Venom movie, right? It is a Venom movie, and there's really nothing. Of course, we expected a lot because it's Carnage, and of course, with the first movie, we're like, hopefully they change the issues, which is like with the tone and the pacing. The tone in this one was affected a little bit, but the pacing, not so much. I don't know why they're going for an hour and 30-minute runtime. It should be at least 2 hours. It felt like a lot of shots were just cut short when you could have seen them like a little bit longer, and like I just don't know why they had that runtime, right?
Yeah, I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people complaining about the runtime too, but I also see a lot of people saying it could have been like a half an hour longer because there wasn't enough carnage, which I agree with. But they wanted like another fight, and where I sort of stand on that is like, no, we didn't, because then it's just the same fight. It's just another session of there's really nothing like else to add there, I guess. Like, and then it's like really standard and by the books, and it's like your first fight, the hero loses, and it's like, oh no, are they gonna come back from that? And then they win at the end, and it's like, okay, but so I don't think I don't think the movie needed to be longer in that aspect, but I think you're 100% right. The movie definitely needed to be longer, either 15 to 30 minutes longer, just to allow scenes to breathe. Exactly. My God, it's just like dialogue just kept just flying. There was no breaks, like it was like going at breakneck speed.
It definitely felt like very claustrophobic. Because scenes were just racing, and it's like, dude, like, I'm going to use this shot for an example. In the movie, there is a shot of, Cletus Cassidy and Shriek just, like, driving in the car. They drive off from, like, the asylum, right? And it's like, it just cuts. And it's like, to like daytime or like there's a certain scene in San Francisco. I'm like, why? Like at least like have it to where they ride off and like there's like some more dialogue or something like that. But it's like why cut it like right then and there? And
There was a scene right in the beginning of the movie between Cletus and Eddie, and he made like a, it wasn't a joke necessarily, but it wasn't like, okay, so in the kind of scene it was like Cletus says something and then Eddie goes, what? And usually in a scene when that happens, it's like Cletus says something like some, or the character says something weird, the character goes, what? And there's like an awkward like pause, and then it's like, well, anyway. But in this, it was like a dialogue, what, cut to whatever, and then
yeah,
add another piece of dialogue, and it's like, let the scene let me process what just happened.
exactly. And like um there's like it's just like that. um let's see what besides the pacing. um I don't know what else I could possibly say about the movie because I feel like that's just like a really big part.
The story
um
sucked.
you said what?
The story sucked.
The story was,
It was fine.
it was interesting to say the
It
least.
was. I
I
mean, it was. I don't know, man.
It's always, I mean, like it's just nice seeing like for this story, like for a positive, on a positive note, it is nice to see more dynamic between like Eddie and like Venom. And because there is a comic with Venom, and it's like how he wants to be more of a hero. And in the comics, Venom is an anti-hero. But also in this comic, not only does he want to be a hero, but he also wants to protect Eddie. That is really like what like this movie is about, right? So I like seeing that in that aspect. And I like, the jokes of like, oh my god, like I can't, like Venom's like I can't do anything. I'm like stuck in the Eddie closet or whatever. And I like that dynamic. I also like seeing uh I like seeing Carnage. Carnage is cool. His voice is cool. But I wish we saw more of Carnage and Cletus like interacting,
Yeah.
Because their relationship isn't they're not symbiotic. Like they're in a sense like, two different entities into one, while Venom's inside Eddie, right? So with going back to pacing, I would want to see like Cletus and like trying to understand the symbiote more. That would have been a nice touch. Instead, it's like he gets the symbiote and they're like hey, you know we know what to do. But like I wanted to see a little bit more of like the relationship between them.
Right.
Um,
Uh. One thing I don't like about just Venom, just in general, not the character Venom, but like in the movie specifically, um, he and Eddie for that matter. Uh, there's a lot of times I can't understand what they're saying. Maybe that's just me, but like Venom, because his voice is distorted, but a lot of times he like talks really fast. So I'm like, the fuck did he say? And like,
yeah, it sounds
and
like very slurred.
yeah, and Tom Hardy is Eddie a lot of the time because he's always like sweaty, like flustered. He's like and then he sort of like mumbles under his breath, and I'm like, the fuck is it? What is he saying?
Yeah, there's definitely a part in Venom 2 where he's handling someone and he's talking, but it sounds very slurred and you can't understand him. But I mean personally, that it doesn't really bother me too much, considering we do hear what he says. I know what he says, like most throughout the movie, but I do understand where you're coming from on that. Um, it happened in the first movie too,
Uh huh.
like a lot like a lot, like during like the end too. Like you hear like his voice like very slurred,
Uh,
and
I don't know if this is
that's
just me probably is just me because I see no one else complaining about it. I'm not a fan of Tom Hardy's accent.
Um,
I think he sounds weird.
I mean, I can understand. I mean, I don't really, like I said, I don't know this voice. I don't really. I'm not like very particular about voice. When it comes to, stuff like that. There was like some parts in the movie where his accent jumps out, like his
Yeah.
British accent jumped out a little bit, and that happens with like Australian and British actors. Either accent just popped out, but I kind of do see what you're saying because there at some points like he pronounces words like kind of weird. Maybe like not to be offensive or anything, but like maybe it's like a speech impediment or something like that.
He
Because
sounds like a British guy trying to do an American accent.
well, yeah, that's essentially what he's doing.
I know, but
But
he's supposed to just be American.
also it's like I feel like he was trying to incorporate like an accent because he's from San Francisco and they have like some type of thing going on. Then again, I've never been to San Francisco. I don't know if they have an accent there. Um,
I
but
assume it's similar
I,
to Californian.
yeah, but I kind of I understand because I know like in some words he would say like it's kind of like a speech thing with like the R and the W, or like you pronounce like R words like with a W and vice versa. There's kind of like that's kind of like a speech thing. So I mean I'm not sure. I notice it, but I'm not like too like picky on it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into spoilers. So, what would you rate the movie
I mean for like a Venom movie, out of 10 or out of 5?
out of 10?
Out of 10, probably like a 6.
Yeah, I think I
A
gave the
6.
first one. I can't remember. I think I gave the first one like a 3 or a 4.
Out of 10?
Yeah. Uh,
I knew you didn't like the movie, but I didn't know you didn't like it that bad.
yeah, it's a 3 or 4. But this one, it's a 5.
Understandable. Yeah, it's a fair rating.
It's a 5.
Out of like 5 would have been like 2.5 or maybe
2.5,
even
yeah.
3. Yeah. Um my spoilers of this movie, Shriek, I feel like I mean she was cool. I do wish she had like a symbiote though. I understand why they didn't give her one budget. And like also she's kind of like a one and done character.
Yeah,
Just like most of the symbiotes.
I want to get to Shriek sort of towards the end because my issues with that are sort of towards the end of the movie. But Cletus, Woody Harrelson was good. I think he was a good get. His hair is still atrocious. I okay. I know this Venom is not comic Venom. I'm aware. But
Yeah.
Cletus Cassidy is like, to me, should be like super manic and like crazy. And Woody Harrelson's Cletus Cassidy a lot of time was just sort of like calm and soft spoken.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was fine, but not really what I'm looking for a Cletus Cassidy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of them sort of not being symbiotic, because in the comics they are symbiotic, and that's what makes them so scary because they're like on the same page. But like but at the same time I understand because if they're not symbiotic, that gives them the opening, that gives Venom the opening, and to win because then they're at that disadvantage. So I understand it from a storytelling perspective, but it also like once they're not symbiotic, I was like, I feel like the stakes sort of like lowered a lot, and I was like, oh okay.
Yeah. Oh, you continue.
Yeah. The breakneck, fast paced, horrible pacing. Like the first one, I thought had horrible pacing, but the scenes themselves didn't have horrible pacing. I thought it had horrible pacing because the second act is like non-existent in that movie. So, but like within the scenes themselves, it's fine. But yeah, in this movie, it's just like they're moving.
Yeah,
I didn't like in the beginning of the movie. You remember where Venom's trying to draw or whatever?
yeah.
Is Eddie just like being willfully stupid? Remember
Uh,
he like drew the thing with like the house and the tree, and he goes like, oh, I know this one. It's a tree. Like, what the
yeah.
fuck? I don't. Okay, the first movie made me laugh a whole one time when Venom called him a pussy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. This movie made me laugh at least twice. So an
Oh
upgrade.
wow, an extra number.
Yeah.
We went from one to a two.
Yeah. Massive improvement. I thought the scene where Venom breaks his nose, and then Venom's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Let me fix it." And then he breaks it.
Yeah, just headbutts him again.
That was good. I can't think of the second one right now, but this Venom, it's just not my cup of tea. I mean, I understand why people enjoy it, but I also at the same time don't understand why people like it as much as they do. Because it sucks.
Hayden, bro.
It's look.
You're like,
It's fine to like bad movies. That's not what I'm saying. I like bad movies. Cough cough. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I also see people saying that it's a genuinely good movie, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
it is a good movie for it being a Venom movie. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't know about that either.
No, to me, it is. It's kind of like, I'm gonna use this as an analogy, like for music, Drake makes music, right? But it's also, you're listening to music made by Drake. You shouldn't expect much from Drake. You shouldn't really expect much from all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still Drake. Like,
Okay, it's decent for a sequel to Venom 2018, but for like the
Quality as a whole.
no, the possibility of what we can get with that character, this shit's ass, man.
And
they could do a lot more and a lot better.
Yeah,
But
I
I guess people like the funny tone, which they kind of have in the comics, but not. I mean, it's not like the movie at all. And I don't want to be like, oh, it's not comic accurate or whatever. But I feel like you can deviate from the comic and still be comic accurate, like Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like, it's different from the comics, but he's still Spider-Man. Like, it's still true to that character. I just feel like Venom's not that.
I feel you. I still enjoy it. It's okay.
What you got anything extra?
Which the only thing about Shriek, she had 2 different voice actresses, bro. What was that about? Like,
Okay.
what was that about?
Well, what was up with the young Woody Harrelson and like dubbing his voice with Woody Harrelson?
Well, the thing is, like, Woody Harrelson, that was all makeup and shit like that.
No, that was a different actor.
That was?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
No way.
That was a different actor.
That was a different actor?
Yeah, I thought it was obvious. I was like, man, this dub is.
It is not. It does not look like a dude. I swear. Because the thing is, like, usually they don't really do that. At least the movies I've been seeing lately, they don't really do that. If they do have, if they have like a young character, they'll get like the same actor, either do like makeup or like some CGI de-aging thing. I did not think that was a younger, like a younger like actor. I thought that was Woody Harrelson.
Nah.
But here's the thing with Shriek.
Okay,
Like, okay,
I do agree. It is probably a different actress.
it is a different actress. What are you talking about? It is a different
Listen,
actress.
I thought it was the same actress, but the
It
hair
is not.
changed.
It is not a different actor, dude. Because you can see
Listen, in
in
hindsight, I agree,
mm-mm.
but at the
No, no,
time,
no,
I thought it was the
no,
same actress.
no, no, no. Because dude, she was like darker than the Shriek we saw. Because I'm thinking in like when you see like she's like she was like light skin or whatever, right? I thought that was like her daughter or some shit like that.
Yeah, I thought it
But it
was funny
wasn't.
how Woody Harrelson like aged 30 years and like she aged like 5.
Dude, she didn't even age at all. That's a different person, bro.
I know, but
That
it's
is
like
a,
yeah, but it's like Woody Harrelson actually looks older and she looks like the same age.
hey, bro. I don't know what she. I don't know. She's probably like screaming herself to like death to make himself like DH or something. I don't know. But I didn't like Shriek's voice. I didn't like how that she was like doing like that,
She was yeah, it
like
was like
that
really high
raspy,
pitch. Yeah, raspy,
high pitch,
whiny.
right? It's like, oh god, it's freaking weird. Um, Speaking of Shriek, going back to that, going like one and done character or whatever. Patrick Mulligan, Patrick Mulligan. That was kind of weird to see
He
him
was
getting
good in
like
this.
Shriek's powers, all that stuff, right?
I didn't expect to like him in this movie, but he
He's,
was
he
good.
was he was he was cool. He's a cool for the stereotypical like bad cop, like, oh, I hate you type of thing. He
Yeah.
was good for that. Um, I mean, I understand the route they're going with because they don't want to do like another symbiote, like they don't want to do Toxin and because like have it be the same movie. I think it's interesting, but I still want like more detail about that because it's like you cut to him and his eyes are all blue and it's like what the fuck? Like, that's creepy. Like how did his eyes get the blue?
Yeah, I still don't understand what the hell is happening there. Like
Yeah,
I get toxin, I get it,
mhm,
but how? I still
yeah,
don't understand how. But I whatever, I guess.
yeah. I don't know.
The highlight of this movie, everyone seems to agree, is the relationship between Eddie and Venom. This sort
Hmm.
of romantic comedy sort of dynamic. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's that. Those are the best parts of the movie. It's one of those things like if in the first one they didn't know what they wanted, the tone was bad, and so they doubled down on the thing that people liked, which is the funny, uh, like corny tone for some reason. And in this one, they they should for the third one after this one double down on the romantic comedy aspect
Hmm.
because that's easily the most entertaining part of the movie. When when Venom's like separated from him and he's like destroying his motorcycle and stuff. uh,
Yeah.
you know what I thought was improved in this one? The
What?
special effects.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
There was still some wonky CG, but like one thing I noticed was better was the tongue, because
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah. The tongue.
in the first one I was like, man, that tongue kind of looks kind of rough, but in this one there was still some times where I was like, yeah, but it was mostly solid. Um, but where I really noticed the improvement was the like nightclub like dance whatever scene, and he has all the glow
Yeah.
sticks on him. Man, those reflections were I was like leaning in close. I was like, man, that looks that looks good.
That looks awesome.
um, did you like that scene, the nightclub, whatever?
Yeah. I liked it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
I liked it.
yeah. But did you have any problems with Cletus's Cletusing?
Um. I didn't have any problems with it simply because I know you said Cletus Cassidy is more he's supposed to be more manic and like kind of like more menacing, but it's also like kind of like it was kind of cool to see how calm and like soft spoken he was, because it's like he believes in his mind that he's not like a bad person, even though he did bad things. He truly believes he's not like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like he believes he's not like that, but like he can accept the things he did. But then with Carnage, he's more aggressive and he's more like he's more menacing. I think that like they complement each other in that sort of aspect for the story. Because of course, like with Carnage in the comics, like Cletus Cassidy, he's a menace. Like he is a like Hall of Fame menace. Like he just hates everything around him, right? He just hates everything. But I think it was kind of cool to see like a different like take of that in the story.
Definitely. I thought it was weird. The I believe second time Cletus and Eddie meet face to face when he's like going on death row or whatever, and Eddie's like, I should be there. Is Venom like he like lunges at him, and he sort of like tosses him around a bit.
Yeah.
But then after he's like, there's something going on with this Eddie guy. He's got a secret, and I don't know what it is. I'm like, what? You just got gooed, and you're like, I wonder what's going on here. Like what? Like you're just gonna forget about that. But
I think it was funny to see, dude. Oh my god, the scene where I was laughing my ass off, dude. The like psychiatrist, the doctor, just
y'all are
dying, dude. It was like silent, and she just dying like nothing like that, dude. That was funny. I think that whole breakout scene was funny too, like with the tornado, and then he's like, "How do you like me now, Ward?" That was funny, dude. I don't know, that was like that was funny.
It was fun.
I like me now, Warden, and then just with a tornado going on in like the jail, and like none of the prisoners are getting hurt. That was just funny.
You know who was drastically improved in this?
What?
Anne.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Anne. Yeah, just thinking about it.
She it actually felt like she was enjoying her time there.
Yeah, she was enjoying it, and like and then she actually enjoys. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But and I like how she also like she wants to help Venom and Eddie, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Although that one scene,
oh my god,
that I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like,
maybe it's just me, but like I sort of like saw like because we've seen that she cares about Venom, like because I think she knows that Venom's good for Eddie, and but I sort of saw it from Venom's perspective and her perspective, I guess. I thought I sort of saw it as like a mother son relationship. So when she did that, I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, dude, if I was like her husband, I'm like, "What the heck, dude?" Like,
he's standing right there. I'm like, "What the?"
Right in front of him, just calling an alien monster,
sexy.
Big and sexy. Like, bruh, ain't no way. Ain't no way I'll be like, ain't no way you're saying this in front of me right now to a freaking big goo monster.
I was like, I don't know about this one. This could have been reshot. I don't.
Yeah, I know. Could have been like could have had like begging, but no, you wanted to call him big and sexy. I'm like, bruh, ain't no way. What else? Hopefully, I want to see. I want to see like Venom have a different look in the next Venom movie. I want him to have the spider symbol.
Yeah.
And hopefully, not to like I guess like their tone will be shifted again in the movie. Not that I don't want it to be a rom-com. Of course rom-coms aren't that bad, but I want to see Eddie be more like confident and cocky, since he has more control of Venom, I want to see that. I want to see that in the next film, whenever it'll come out. Probably like 2023 or something like that. I don't know.
For the next movie, I hope to God they don't do another symbiote. We do not need another symbiote. We got it twice in a
Yeah,
row. It's
yeah, we don't
basically
need
the
it.
same thing. It's just two goo monsters like smashing together.
Yeah, we
Uh,
don't need that.
uh, the only way I'd let it slide is if Spider-Man's in it and they sort of like it's like Spider-Man versus Venom and then they team up against Toxin or whatever. Then I'd be
Yeah,
okay with it. But if it's just another Venom versus symbiote movie, then what are we doing? um,
exactly.
so yeah, my I was going to talk about my problems with Shriek, specifically at the end. So she's like obviously like like with Cletus or whatever, and she's like evil or whatever, and she like kidnaps Anne and stuff like that, and then at the end, after she like borderline murders the cop or whatever, Detective Mulligan, she's all like, this is too much. The fuck do you mean it's too much? What do you what changed? You know, you were on board this entire time. It's not like you saw like an innocent person die and was like, oh man, I need to change my. It was so out of the blue. She was just like laying there and like got up and was like, it's too much. We got to stop this. Like what?
Yeah.
But not only that, then after that, Carnage is all like, I'm gonna shut her up for good. Why? She didn't do anything.
Well, of course because like because of course he doesn't like sound.
Yeah, but she didn't scream since the beginning of that fight. Like she screamed initially. She was like he was like, don't do that again. And then she didn't do it again around him to where it would affect him.
Yeah. She did.
No, she didn't.
She did. She did it. She did it in the church.
No, I know, that's what I mean. But after that,
Oh, okay.
she didn't do it around him at all. And then she's like we got to stop this. And then he was like, I'm gonna kill you. Like what?
I'm gonna kill you. I mean, yeah, that was cool. I cool as in like I understand what you mean. It was crazy how like it was crazy that she died. Died by a bell and make sound, you know. Funny.
Yeah, she died. I was like, oh no. Oh well.
I mean, yeah, she was a one and done character, anyways. I don't really.
Yeah.
A lot of symbiotes, besides and of course like Carnage and Toxin, they're pretty much just one-off characters. Like Riot, Shriek, yeah, they're all like they're just one and dones.
I liked how Venom was like, fuck this guy.
I know, right? And I like how like both Venom movies, they kind of like have like doubts, because like Venom like to Riot was like, because Eddie was like, how much of a chance do you have? It's like 0, and he's like, all right, well fuck it, let's go. And then like it was kind of like the same in this movie. It was like, hey, fuck this guy.
Yeah. I thought the scene where they like, look, we're more symbiotic than him, was really corny, but at the same time, that's what this movie is. So I was like, I'll let it slide.
Yeah.
He was like, because they were like, because we are the lethal protector. Like that's what
we have the power of friendship.
Yeah,
like some anime shit.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus.
We have the power of friendship.
But yeah.
I have nothing else to say.
Let's we already talked about it last week, but let's talk about that post-credit scene a little bit. So again, Tom Holland, he's there.
With his mask off
for some reason.
Like looking around as if he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it last time, but like we mentioned, now we think it's the Doctor Strange thing, but I don't think we mentioned like the timeline and like how the hell does that work? Because if Doctor Strange casts a spell in No Way Home, how is it that when Venom gets transported into the MCU, unless they pull like an Into the Spider-Verse and how Spider-Gwen got like knocked into last week.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is like the only downside to Into the Spider-Verse. It's like, why is she the only one that got knocked into last? Whatever, different conversation. But like, like how does that work? But like, and then I thought about it and I was like, well, they didn't use the same footage, it looked like, or the same audio clip from J.K. Simmons. It almost like he wasn't like Peter Parker is Spider-Man, like breaking news. It was more like it kind of sounded like we're talking about this again, like remember how we talked about like last week we said we revealed that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So I think maybe it's that, because No Way Home does take place like right after Far From Home.
Yeah.
So it could be like he could see Strange and that spell could happen like the same day for all we know.
Yeah, of course.
In which case that would make a lot more sense. But yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm kind of leaning on to like what you're saying. Because if it happens, of course, like you said, No Way Home happens like literally like immediately after Far From Home. So like, like what if he casts the spell and at that moment, Venom's chilling and it's like instantly on that same day, right? I'm trying to figure out, like, because is he in New York, or like is he still in San Francisco, or like, where is he in this like moment in time?
Eddie?
I mean, I would assume he's in New York.
Eddie?
There's a guy that comes out of the bathroom. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing in my room?"
No, I think he's still on the beach.
Yeah, he's on the because. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, sure, he was on a beach. I'm trying to figure out where was that beach though?
I don't think it matters.
Also because like the entire like place changed, because in the nighttime he saw on the news, and then when the spell happened, it changed to daytime. So he must have gotten knocked into somewhere else. He must have, like, or like at least like that universe.
What I think happened is when the spell or whatever it is, it's like he's in that place, but because that Earth and the MCU Earth are so similar,
different. Yeah,
it's like the exact same building, but it's
like
still different.
Changed.
So it just he just whooshed into like essentially the exact same building, but it's nicer in the MCU. It's not like the Golden Gate Bridge like shifts 3 inches. Yeah,
it does. I made it.
Oh,
okay. But yeah, No Way Home is coming out soon, man. Literally,
I don't think
like 2 months.
I don't think Venom's gonna be in No Way Home. I think it might show up in a post-credit scene.
And I mean, either way, like either way or not, like it's still cool to like have that theory or connection. In my opinion,
there's 2 theories out right now as far as like what this means for like the future, after No Way Home, that is. And one of them is like, okay, everyone's transported to the MCU or whatever, and then No Way Home happens, and then everyone gets sent back to their own universe, and then Sony may be interested in making the Venom and Morbius and all that, whatever, the Amazing Spider-Man universe in some way, and like bringing back Andrew Garfield to do his own set of movies. But then there's also a theory out there that's saying that after No Way Home, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is like, there's like a whole multiverse that like needs my help.
Yeah,
and he's gonna have maybe like his own little like trilogy where he's like hopping towards like different places within the multiverse, and he's like, I'll be back, because he contractually still has an MCU movie to do in another another MCU appearance and as like a cameo or whatever. Uh, yeah, but so like his next like 2-3 movies, whatever, is like technically not in the MCU. And the first one I'm cool with because Andrew Garfield deserves another chance.
Yeah.
And also, I think audiences are in a place now where we can have two different Spider-Men on the big screen in different universes, and people won't get confused. There's still going to get people that get confused. That's inevitable. But I think audiences are smart enough now to the general audience is smart enough now to understand what's happening. I mean, we're getting multiple Batman, we have multiple Superman, stuff like that, multiple Flashes. I think that would work out just fine. The other one worries me because if they take Spider-Man out of the MCU temporarily to do his own thing and then bring him back, that means that next trilogy of movies has no input from Marvel Studios, most likely, and that scares me.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want that to happen. Honestly, don't want that at all. It's just because like Sony butts into way too much for like the movies, man. It's like I don't like it. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and then there's people who are like, but they made Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm like, yeah, that's their animation division. That's
It's completely different from live action.
Yeah. Like you got their animation, and they're making like freaking like Mitchell's versus the Machines, and they're making Into the Spider-Verse, stuff like that, and it's like freaking phenomenal films. And then you got live action, and it's like, yeah, people like Venom, but let's be honest, they're not very good movies. They do well, like with audiences in box office, but they're not good movies. Morbius, I mean, we don't know enough about it, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't. The only thing that has me interested in that is the Michael Keaton tease at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, and plus, like, and like that movie's been stuck in limbo for so long. So it's like when a movie's been stuck in limbo, it's not gonna do well.
It's Morbius was supposed to come out before Venom 2.
Yeah.
So
and it's like it's kind of like that with like the New Mutants. The New Mutants was supposed to come out like so long ago. It was supposed to come out like in 2016. It didn't come out until like what? Like 2019? Yeah, 2020. I'm like, dude.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, really. I think the same thing with the Flash. Flash was supposed to come out when we were freshmen, 2014. Supposed to come out that time. And now it's supposed to be 2022.
Yeah. And yeah, like, I mean, obviously Sony made the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Sony's they always have these like stupid projects that no one wants in development, like Black Cat and Silver Sable. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about them. Like, it'd be cool if they showed up in a Spider-Man movie. I don't want a solo movie.
Didn't they say they're gonna do that like some like Aunt May movie or something like that, or like
back during the Sony email hack or whatever, they had plans to make an Aunt May like spy thriller.
Oh my god, bro.
I mean, yeah, they're making that Craven movie, which that's either going to be phenomenal or it's going to be trash. I mean, I really hope it's good because Craven can be an incredible character, but Venom could also be an incredible character, and those movies exist. They're also, I think they're still making a Madam Web movie.
Oh my god. I mean, I just don't feel like all those movies should not happen. Like Madam Web shouldn't even be a person to get her own movie. Madam Web is like literally like a last like option type of thing for like Spider-Man. Well, actually, she was in it a lot in the '90s series.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's a cool character.
But her own movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, thank you.
Like, same thing for Black Cat. Like, who wants a Black Cat movie? It would be nice if those were, like, series, maybe. But, of course, they're not. That's not going to happen.
Like, they're making that Silk series on Amazon Prime, which...
Silk is fine.
Yeah, Silk is cool. Because it's Silk. She's an actual, like, a main player. But, like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know.
Sony's... And I feel like because, like, because of the success of the MCU Spider-Man, they've kind of gotten cocky, and because of the financial success of the Venom movies, they're like, we don't, we can do this. We can do this on our own. But I'm like, the last time you tried to do that, it didn't work out so well. I'm concerned, but I'm still optimistic because it seems like Marvel Studios and Sony are working better together than that scare we had a while ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, especially after No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, is that the show?
That's it. We ranted on for way too long.
We really did. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Avengenerds podcast. If you want to follow us, we're at Avengenerds on Twitter. That's Avenge Nerds, all one word. If you want to follow either one of us, you can reach me at @itzenith_ on Twitter. Where can they reach you?
Torrentino.
All right, we have a Discord if you'd like to join the conversation there. All those links will be linked in the show notes or the description. You can also review the show in-app on Apple Podcasts. If you can leave 5 stars and a review, it would really help us out. And thanks again for listening to the Avengers podcast. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Venom's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god.